Hello, friends and family. It's day 74, cycle 4, day 10. Welcome to my quest to crush aggressive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, stage 4. We're using the R-EPOCH immunochemotherapy to crush non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Today I'm thinking about moving forward for change. And the change kind of encompasses many areas. Change in how we feel about ourselves and the world around us, and feel physically, in my case, and many other people's cases, like how the change in how we feel, like to improve how we feel, how we perceive ourselves and the world around us, and finally, how we change in the world. How can we affect change? What small thing can we do to affect change? So my hope is that this video is affecting change, that somebody is able to watch this video and get some comfort or some inspiration or some motivation to do something that improves their life. That's my hope. All right, so let's get into some quotes. So my first quote, I think that I used as previously, I think I even have a little graphic I typed up, so I'll share it here, last month, but we're going to try it again because I think it's appropriate. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King, Jr. So again, this is the move forward. No matter what, we have to keep moving, whatever mechanism. So you all know that over the last several days, my movement was incredibly restricted, physically incredibly restricted, but I still, despite that, made minor improvements in movement and the way my body was feeling. And by restricting my movement, I helped my body to heal, which allows me to come on today and be just a little bit better than I was yesterday. And every day this week, the last several days, I've been able to just improve a little bit by, listening to my body and moving forward, just a smidgen. Only at the level that I could. I couldn't run, I couldn't walk, I couldn't fly, but I could crawl. I could maybe, scooch. It's getting a little better. I'll say that. Okay, second quote. And I would encourage everyone else as well to please move forward at whatever level and pace that you can. All right, second quote. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. Mary Engelbreit. Now, again, I think that this message I've shared previously from other wise people, and maybe myself as well, and that is, some things we can't change. We just can't. But what we can do is change the way we think about them so that it's not as destructive to ourselves or the folks around us. So I've expressed several times over the last several days how irksome, I'm going to use that word, it is for me to just lay still. That I have all this time. Time is a valuable commodity. In my book, time is a valuable commodity. We're not guaranteed the next day. And I hate to waste a day laying in bed. I want to be doing something productive with my time. But that is not possible for me right now. It's becoming more possible as the days progress. And so in order for me to accept that, it required that I adjust the way I perceive that. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not being unproductive. I'm being incredibly productive. I'm crushing my to-do list because the first thing on my to-do list was rest, and I was doing that ad nauseum. I was crushing it. Second, or B, I was doing something. I wasn't actively doing something physically with my noodle or any other part of my body, but I was actively allowing my body the space and the time and the physical environment to heal, right? There's no secrets. It's time and rest that helps your body heal, and that's what I had to do. So I was accomplishing something. It was just something I previously perceived to be a waste of time, right? But it's not. It's very essential for where I am in my healing process. So again, changing your perception makes a difference. And by changing your perception, that changes the things that weigh on you, right? Now, it's not an easy thing to do. You've heard me pull quotes like this for weeks now, and I still have to be reminded fairly regularly Jen, that's just not something you can do. You need to change your perception and move on. So this is my 10 cents for you. Not saying it's easy, just saying we need to do it. All right, next quote came from my tea bag this morning, and I read it and I said, I'd like to share this with the group, so I'm sharing. All right, here we go. Be kind to others, but always be compassionate to yourself. They didn't credit anybody, but I'll do a quick Google search. If I can find somebody to credit, I'll include that on the screen. If not, it'll be anonymous or unknown. But I like this very much, right? I'm a big proponent of kindness. I think we should always be kind. And I think that we are often not kind nor compassionate to ourselves. We are the hardest on ourselves and sometimes those we love. We have the highest expectations for ourselves and those around us. So, I think this kind of goes, it's not exactly in the same boat with the other quotes, but I think it was pretty valuable and I like it very much. And I totally, totally agree. We have to be, I guess we could slant it to, I had to be compassionate to myself and take care of myself and rest over the last several days in order to heal enough to proceed into what I consider to be productive. How's that? For a good twist. All right, let's move on. What did I do today? Today I rested a lot. I hydrated. I did a really great job of hydrating, and I'm continuing to do so. I have no doubt that I will reach my goals today, so I'm very happy about that. I crocheted and finished my slippers. I think I forgot to bring them upstairs, so let me insert some B-roll right here where I'm modeling these lovely slippers. Ta-da! Don't they look fabulous? I love them. And part of the reason I love them is because I'm not sure you could see it when I shared it yesterday, but they're triple thick on the bottom. So even though it just looks like a rib pattern, the bottoms are really thick. It's like walking kind of on a cloud, and it gives you like a little foot massage as you're walking. So I love them. Love them, love them. These are my favorite, and I've crocheted a lot of slippers. I went through a phase of slipper, I was looking for different patterns and such. When Bill was in the hospital, I kept crocheting slipper after slipper, giving them away willy-nilly. But these I absolutely love. These are like my favorite. I'll be crocheting these until I can't crochet anymore. I just love this pattern. The only thing that would make it better is if it was a little lighter weight, which I've been trying to work on because I just get hot. I'm just run hot. But in general, you want slippers because you're cold. You want to keep your feet warm and so it's good. It's all good. All right, accessories. I did a lot of research on accessories for new phones. I think in the last week or two, I actually got into Last Century and joined Reddit, believe it or not. And I joined a few pages, one for my new phone, and also I did also join for a couple, I forget what they call them. What are the threads? I joined a few threads for cancer and lymphoma, which I think is a good experience. I like the written word, it's valuable. So one thing I did, I think this was yesterday night sometime, was I responded in the lymphoma thread to a young girl. I'm going to say she was under 25, under 30, and she was pretty scared. She'd just done her first treatment and she wasn't doing well. It wasn't exactly the same treatment as me, but a similar diagnosis to what I have. And she was asking very basic questions about, the chemo was really hard and, what should I do? And you have any tips and so forth and so on. And many people responded with great suggestions, like make sure you have the best drugs for anti-nausea. If the ones you have don't work, get different ones. Don't be afraid to take them. All good, and other suggestions, going into the office to get hydrated to, prevent dehydration and prevent hospitalizations and so forth and so on. And so at some point I jumped into the thread and I was like, I agree with everybody else's great suggestions and here are a few of my own, and also I'm doing this vlog if you want to see it and you can see the symptoms I'm having, and then she asked if it was going to get worse and everyone universally said, yes, unfortunately it's going to get worse. And I said the same. I said, but if you want to see specific symptoms that I'm having, I'm like, they're here. But I did feel good that I was helping in some small way. I took a little bit of my time and I typed up a response, but I felt like I helped a little bit. And that's kind of my passion here, is to help in that way. That the sharing and being transparent will help someone. and hopefully that's the case. All right, so keeping going on, I had an added must-do to-do today, which was I had to make more magic mouthwash. I did not realize, because I was been doubling and tripling in the days with mouth issues, that I was run out. I didn't have enough for a whole nother dose. So I made up a whole new vial of magic mouthwash. On the robo emails, I was able to respond to one or two, but my co-mentor, in my particular area, we have many mentors, she responded to all the pending ones, and I just want to give her a big shout out today, because holy mackerel, that was a lot of work, and thank you for carrying the load. Thank you so much, and I'll take a look when they send through the revisions. I'll make sure to look again, take that and give feedback on the next round. So thank you so much for your help there. It was a rough weekend. I didn't get to even have the power to do it till after 4 p.m. Eastern, and by then, she had responded several hours prior. So thank you so much. I did load the dishwasher and run it today because I just couldn't take it anymore. I did not clean the kitchen or straighten the kitchen. I just got as many of the dishes that were laying about into the dishwasher and started it. There were still some I couldn't fit, so they went into the sink. And I had hoped all weekend, and maybe there's still some time, to rally the boys into the kitchen for 15 minutes and just kind of direct. So that is my plan if I can get to it today. I don't know if that will happen. I was quite wrecked after I did that little bit of work in the kitchen. The magic mouthwash, the robo-mails, and the dishwasher. I went and laid back down again before I came up to record for you guys. So physically, I think I'm starting to feel much better. Certainly hands and feet higher than I felt, just a few days ago. But physically, the body's not quite there, and I'm going to have to listen and move very slow and be gracious with my body. The last thing is charity miles. While I was working in the kitchen today, I tried to do a little bit of charity miles. I think it came in at like 0.25 or 0.35, but it was something. And cumulatively, our team of 12 has racked up 229 miles. Great job, team. If you'd like to join our Charity Miles team, please do so. It's free for everyone to join. So if you're interested, please do join. I'd love to be the motivation for you to move your bodies. So that's great from my perspective. Okay. My plans for tomorrow. I plan to work. Hopefully. We'll see how that rides. My plan is to work. I'm supposed to go back to work. So just have to figure out how to do it in a way that is forgiving to my body. I plan to rest, so maybe I can take periodic steps away. I don't know what that means exactly, and I need to hydrate. At this point, I have not documented anything beyond those 3 items. I do have a robotics call tomorrow night that I'm supposed to attend. I'm a little worried that I'm going to be wrecked by then, but we'll see. Maybe I can do another off camera. I still have not painted my nails. These are all things I would like to do, but being realistic, those 3 items are really the only 3 things that I have to do. And even work is somewhat negotiable. If I can't tolerate work, then I can take the day off if I have to. So let's see how it rides. Fingers crossed. And we'll move on to the next. All right, so angel deliveries. There were no angel deliveries today, but we were very fortunate this weekend. So and I consider all of you viewing this video and the folks that have reached out to me directly and indirectly through socials, etc., to be angel deliveries. Your love and support has really lifted me up and carried me through the hardest days, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining us today, if you're just here for story time, and we will see you tomorrow. Jumping into detailed status. Eating nausea. The nausea was managed with no meds today. I'm proud to inform you. I did not take medication before I went to bed. I did not take any medication today. I managed totally with that fine line of not eating too much or too little throughout the day. Root beer barrel or 2, But overall, I'm very pleased. I feel like this is a sign that my body is expelling the poison and we're moving on to the next stage. So that makes me happy. My mouth is my teeth are my throat is So Mouth, if I run my tongue on the inside, it definitely still feels raw. I don't feel any sores, and there's no spot that like hurts. I'm not in excruciating pain. It's not preventing me from eating. It does give me that chemo mouth taste, which does contribute to the nausea. So I'm trying to keep that under control by regularly drinking my mint tea, root beer barrels, and those regular meals. And, of course, gargling and mouthwash also helps. My weight was a bit down from yesterday. I think you saw yesterday that I came down about 2 kilos from the highest point earlier in the week. And today was like 0.2 or 0.3 kilos down. So it still is coming down a bit. My fluid, my in was 82 ounces. So I made my 80-ounce goal. So that was a big thumbs up. Actually, let me share here. I'll share a picture right here. This is my fluid intake by mouth for the week in ounces. And you could see my 80-ounce goal. And you could see how I missed several days, which we knew. And then there are several days that I was above the goal. So, of course, the goal is always to make goal or beat it. But some days it can't happen. All right. So that was 2.4 liters in. And my out was 2.9 liters. So, again, we're still pulling out more than we're putting in. I'm not drinking any caffeine. And I don't think there's anything. I guess my blood pressure med has a mild diuretic in it, so that could be pulling more fluid. But I really think we're still just it's the fluid from the steroids coming out. So we'll see how that goes. And I think today that I will greatly beat the 80. I might get to 90, fingers crossed. And we'll see what that does ins and outs. They might level out as I get higher and higher. All right. So moving on. We have neuropathy, I think, was status quo. It hasn't been worse today than yesterday, so I'm going to call it status quo. Not the hair loss is status quo. The skin is status quo. Nose clots are just starting, so I'm going to give that an eh. Probably tomorrow it's getting a yes. No night sweats. No headache. I still have fatigue. Yes. No red skin and no chemo brain. So those were all good improvements. So I think overall you can see that the symptomology is decreasing. Okay, so overall I'm feeling much better than I did, 3 or 4 days ago. Like incredibly, it's like night and day. I'm starting to feel more like a human being, less like a cancer patient, less like a chemo patient. Certainly, I'm still feeling the effects of the chemo, and I do not believe that I've totally flushed the chemo out based on other symptomology and signs and symptoms. But definitely way better. So I'm grateful. All right, so my sleep last night was 6 hours and 37 minutes. My movement was surprising. I had 5,030 steps. My vitals have been fine. The heart rate is down a smidge, but still pretty high. Whenever I exert, my heart rate gets up into the 120 and 130s. So, and just resting. 1 second, checking. Just sitting here chatting with you guys, I'm at 116, which is very high for me. Before cancer came to visit this body, my resting heart rate was in the 70s. So, but I do see it be much higher during the treatment. So this is a stress on the body, and it's fighting as best it can. There's also a side effect of some of these chemos that there's heart damage. So far, we do not believe that's the case based on any of my blood work and the PET scan and some of the other tests we're doing. I don't believe that the heart's been damaged, but it's certainly working harder, to deal with the chemo. It's not happy about it, as is the rest of my body, right? It's not a pleasant experience. It's the price we pay to live, but it's not a pleasant experience. And I think I don't have any doctor news. I expect to have a call tomorrow sometime from the nurse. I assume she's coming on Tuesday. I'm ready to have this dressing changed. It's itching like crazy. I might take some Benadryl, honestly. It's killing me. But that's what happens when you get closer to the takeoff day. But I believe so I might take Benadryl to sleep tonight and to get the itch off. But I think that she'll call me tomorrow to schedule to come on Tuesday is my suspicion. So I don't have any doctor news at the moment. Oh, one other thing I haven't mentioned. I've had some trouble the last couple days with my PICC line Both lines are flushing, but both of them yesterday I couldn't draw blood back on them. And now today I was able to draw back on one. So I've just been flushing with the heparin flushes every couple hours and, testing for the draw, seeing if we can clear that up. But I will, if it doesn't clear up, I'll report that to the nurse and my doctor's office tomorrow. I don't know if that means that this, PICC line is done, or if it relates to my hydration, like there's less blood, so it's harder to pull. I don't know what the situation is. So I'm trying to hydrate as best I can since I'm feeling a smidge better, and B, regularly flushing and trying to draw. If it doesn't work, then I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. We put this PICC line in January 4th, and today is February 28th. So it's almost been in for 2 months. So it could be that it needs to come out and a new one has to go in, but we'll see what happens in the next couple days, and then we'll make a decision. So that is all the news I have today. I'd like to, as always, thank you all so much for your love and support. We will see you tomorrow. And as always, if you have any questions or I can provide any more clarity on anything, please do let me know. Trying to think if there's anything else to tell you about. I think that's it. So love and support. Thank you. We love you. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it.